This presentation is about a project called Fortuna. It's an artificially intelligent robot combat system. This is a pitch to Senior Design 1 at University of Central Florida. That's course COP 4934. My name is Rick Lineker, and as you can see on this slide, I've got my campus email address and my office there. So in case you want to review this presentation, you can go to an online reference, ricklineker.com/pitches2019, where you can download the slides and watch this video. Hopefully, while you're thinking about what senior design project you'd like to work on this year, you can go back here and review it and have all of your questions answered. You can also send me an email, and I'll be glad to answer questions too before you have to make up your mind. So this is based on an old MS-DOS program known as Omega. And Omega, as you can see here, the graphics are very blocky. It's actually done in a resolution of 320 by 200 with 256 colors. So this is way back in the day when that was the leading edge game resolution and color depth. But there is a DOSBox version online that you can play it in, and the link here has it. So at a certain point, you probably want to go out there and take a look at it and see what it is. So here are the problems to solve. The first one is to teach basic programming with GUI syntax. In other words, all the objects will be graphical. So if you have a for loop, you basically drag the for loop over and fill in the parameters. It's not like you have to type in for I equals 0, I less than 5, or whatever. What this is doing is it's teaching programming in a way that sort of avoids those syntax errors, the typographical errors. Basically, all you do, you drag a for loop in, you fill in whatever the parameters are. They're error checked even before runtime. They're error checked basically at programming time. And that way, it's a lot easier for people to learn to program. The second problem to solve is to introduce people, or programmers, to artificial intelligence. This will include like neural networks, linear regressions, things like that. It won't attempt to introduce advanced AI techniques, but basically sort of set the stage and advance the basic. Set the stage and introduce the basics. And the third thing is going to provide a competition in order to compare programming techniques. So if I create a tank or robot, I'm going to probably use those interchangeably a bit here. If you have your own creation, you will actually compare it. You will actually pit it against someone else's creation, and based on whoever has the best code or the best approach to defeating the opponent, the best approach to defeating their opponent will win and gain points. So the three problems to solve are teaching basic programming, introducing basic AI, and providing a competition with which you can basically judge how well you've done. So I've got an example here of the basic programming pieces. This is going to be based on the website scratch.mit.edu, and this is a working version of what I have in mind. Although basically this moves a cartoon shape around, and you'll be doing some sort of a tank manipulation, including firing and avoidance and stuff like that. But there'll be graphical elements that you take and you drag in, and then you set the parameters. You can see in this is kind of a fuzzy screen, but it's low resolution. But you can see there are places where you put the actual parameters for what you're trying to do. So besides the basic programming, you'll need idiomatic commands for the tanks. You're going to have all the usual things such as loops and conditionals and variables and stuff like that. But you're going to have to add commands for tank-like robots such as turn, aim, fire, track, whatever it turns out to be. And here, the best thing to do would be to check with the original Omega program. With the basic graphical programming, tanks can then do battle with each other. And here again, like I said, that's how you're going to judge whether or not you've done a good job or a bad job, because your tank, if you've done a good job, will beat another tank that maybe didn't do as good of a job. There's actually nothing random about this. It's all deterministic. So basically, if your logic is good and the other person's logic is not as good, you will win. So we're going to keep the tanks, or the tank code base. It's going to have things such as, what weapons you have, what AI objects you might have, what if you have shields, and the whole code base will reside on a server. Tanks will do battle with each other in order to determine which code base works best for the battle. There is going to be a web-based leaderboard for all contestants. So if you want to check on the status of you or your opponents or whatever, you can go to the leaderboard and find out just how you stack up against other opponents. There is a currency in the system. To fight a battle, you have to have a fee. To fight a battle, you have to pay a fee, and the winner gets both fees, and that's how they actually make money. That's how they make a currency. Now, there is going to be a daily sort of residual. There is going to be a daily residual amount of currency that gets put into your account every day. That's because if you go broke, you'd never be able to fight battles. So over time, you'll be able to build up your bank account so that you can continue to fight battles and buy other pieces for your tank and stuff. Tanks can be traded and sold, so you can have multiple tanks depending on if you have the resources or the inclination to do that. You can have a dozen tanks, but you might be able to buy and sell them in order to. In fact, you might buy someone's tank who's actually pretty good, and you might be able to edit it then to be even better or something. So there are going to be add-ons available for purchase. Add-ons will include. So the add-ons will be available for purchase in the system currency. That's why you're trying to build up your currency so that you can buy the add-ons. So a lot of the add-ons are going to be artificial intelligence objects, such as maybe an RNN object, or an A-star object. The A-star is an AI piece that allows you to find the shortest path to something or someone or some object. So by purchasing the AI objects, programmers will give their tanks more capabilities and also learn the basics of AI. All battles, as I said, are deterministic. They don't rely on any kind of random outcomes, and they'll always play out the same way. So for this reason, replays are easy. Simply show the battle sequence. In fact, if I want to maybe consider challenging your tank, I can check its previous battles, and I can see replays of all those previous battles, and then maybe I can sort of adjust my logic to better be prepared to play. I might notice a pattern in your previous battles, and then I might be able to adjust my AI programming so that it is more capable of defeating you. Other add-ons will be armaments and shields. They're optional, of course, and they can be purchased by in-game currency. Anyway, so all of these can enhance tanks. It's going to be shields and bombs and different kind of armaments. So your deliverables, what I'm expecting you to deliver to me is a web-based server with database holding tanks and user specs such as name, currency, win-loss record, and so forth. A website for leaderboard and explanation of the system. So when you first get to the website, there'll be what the system is. There'll be a big, here about us and all that kind of stuff. Maybe pictures and names of the developing team. There's got to be some sort of a web-based tank editor. Essentially, all of this is going to be web-based. And then there's going to be a web-based battle arena where you can watch the battles. You can challenge. So I might take my tank and challenge you, and if you agree to the battle, then I can see the battle play out. I might also go find, say, Joe Smith's previous battles and watch them. The software engineering deliverables are a Gantt chart for the project. Now this has to be continually updated so that I can see it and know exactly where you are. some sort of a website map that says, what the pieces of the website are, class diagrams. You need to provide a testing plan, including unit integration and end-to-end tests. The technologies you'll use, there's going to be some sort of server stack. And what we'll do is we'll meet, our first meeting, we'll go ahead and talk about the pros and cons of each stack, and then make a decision at that point which stack you're going to use. The web technologies are going to for sure include JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. And obviously, you're going to give serious consideration to other technologies such as Bootstrap and React. And there are lots of them you can maybe view as a pretty popular technology. You need to keep everything in GitHub for source control. Your team is required to have bi-monthly meetings, so you have to sign up for a bi-monthly meeting and make it. At least the majority of your team has to make it. The available times are Monday and Wednesday, 12:30 to 1:15, 3 to 4:15, or 6 to 7:15.